Hey, good morning, trading fam. So in this video, we're going to be talking about silver, where I think it's going, where I start to look to enter, and then what will happen next for silver. And silver, here we are on the silver chart on the daily. This is also a relatively easy chart to analyze. In fact, I'm seeing something here as I'm looking at this. We've got a downtrend going on, and so there's some resistance there on this white trend line. And this is the trend currently. You can see I've drawn here this bullish channel. Once we break that, I do believe we will come down to our target somewhere between 54 and $60 per ounce on silver. Yes, I still am waiting for that entry target. All right. I know a lot of people have gone bullish again with the break above $90 per ounce, but I think that was a bull trap, and we're seeing that. It remains to be seen, of course, guys. We have to break below this, this bear, I should say bear channel. I called it a bull channel before. This is a bear channel, a bear flag. So once we break below this, I do believe we come down to our target of $54 to $60, and that is where I start to back up the truck. We can look at several charts to help support this idea. Of course, silver paper is the same thing. You see this bear channel here, and I could probably draw the trend line there as well. Again, $54 to $60 looks like good support. Where's this? In this case, paper could come down to $50 and go all the way up to $54. All right, so got a long ways to go on silver before I start to become interested in entry. And it's a waiting game, guys. With silver, it's a waiting game. Just patience is required, but I do think we'll come down here. We can take a look at one more chart here. That's the gold-silver ratio. Of course, I'm a big believer that eventually we'll get back to pre-1933 gold-silver ratio, which is anywhere from 20 to 25 to 1, which would put silver, when gold's at 5,000, that would put silver at $250 to $300 per ounce. I think we'll get there by the end of this year, believe it or not. But before we do that, here is a bull flag on the gold-silver ratio, meaning that, as we proceed up, silver gets cheaper and cheaper, or less expensive, I should say, in comparison to gold. And so my target there on the gold-silver ratio is 72 to 78 to 1. And right now it's looking like this analysis is working out, and we will head up there. Of course, silver is very hot, so I'm not sure how far, once we get close to this 72 to 1 ratio, I start to enter. And then I think that's when silver really starts to take off, guys. And we'll get down to that. Like I said, let's go to the silver chart here. We'll get down to that $54 to $60 per ounce, and then it takes off. And I think we see quadruple, quintuple by the end of the year. The gold-silver ratio is also showing this as a possibility and supporting that thesis. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, you know what to do. I hate to be one of those guys that begs for the likes and the comments and the subscribes because it's so ad nauseum, but it truly does help the channel out, and it helps me to put out this content. It inspires me and encourages me to keep going, that you find the content valuable. In the future, I will have some announcements about my copy trade account, which I've been beta testing. It has gone very well. I'm up, like 15% so far since I began 2 months ago. And so I'm hoping to get that portfolio up to the same rate of gain as my public portfolio, which you all can see if you follow my channel, which now is around 56% since the introduction of my pivot zones indicator. And speaking of my pivot zones indicator, that is that's an invite only indicator, and you can subscribe to my channel and have access to that if you're so inclined, and if that's something you would like to do. If you like to trade your own stocks and not just copy what I do, you can do that, and the indicator works very well. As I said with the Bitcoin chart, the reason I've gone long is because of my pivot zones indicator. It fired a buy signal, and as I back test this thing on Bitcoin specifically, it has over a 90% plus success rate. So I am definitely not ignoring that, even though I'm a bearish, bias overall on Bitcoin. I have gone long on Bitcoin because specifically of this pivot zones indicator firing a buy signal. It's a very good indicator, and I'm glad all these years of doing technical analysis, I finally found something that's simple, and it just says buy and you buy, and it says sell and you sell. So if you're not familiar with my pivot zones indicator, I will have a link in the description, and you can view how that works. Until the next video, peace, y'all.